I'm a 38-year-old man. I lived, in a quiet suburb outside Columbus, Ohio. Tree-lined streets, lawns edged within an inch of their lives. Kids riding bikes until the streetlights flicker on. The kind of place real estate agents describe as great for families. And we were that family. At least on paper. I was married to Emily for 12 years. Together for 15. 2 kids. Noah, 10, and Lily, 7. A golden retriever named Scout who shed everywhere and thought every human was his best friend. We had a mortgage, 2 cars, college savings accounts, and a joint 401k we checked obsessively every quarter. Thanksgiving at her parents' house. Christmas at mine. PTA meetings. Soccer practices. Weekend trips to Target that somehow turned into $300 disasters. From the outside, we were the American dream with a Costco membership. I worked in corporate finance for a mid-sized logistics company downtown. Long hours, decent pay, bonuses that mostly went to daycare and braces and that one emergency HVAC replacement last winter. Emily worked in marketing for a regional real estate firm. She was charismatic, organized, the kind of person who could talk to anyone and make them feel like they mattered. We weren't perfect, but we were stable. Or so I thought. The first crack wasn't dramatic. It was a feeling, a low-grade anxiety that settled into my chest sometime early last fall. Emily started staying late at work more often. Campaign season, she said. End of year pushes. Her phone was suddenly always face down. Notifications turned off. She used to leave it charging on the kitchen counter. Now it went everywhere with her, even to take a shower. I told myself I was being paranoid. We were in our late 30s. 2 kids. Who has the energy for an affair? Then there were the transactions. I handle our finances. Always have. Not because Emily couldn't, but because I'm the spreadsheet guy. One night in October, while reconciling our checking account, I noticed a charge I didn't recognize. $187.42 at a boutique hotel downtown. Then another a week later. Then a dinner at a steakhouse we'd never been to, on a Wednesday night when she told me she had eaten leftovers at the office. I asked casually, too casually. Oh, she said, not looking up from her phone. Client dinners. I expensed most of it. Must have missed one. I nodded, forced a smile. The feeling in my chest tightened. The red flags started stacking. New lingerie that I never saw her wear. A sudden interest in running after work, even though she'd always hated cardio. She smelled different sometimes. Not perfume, something warmer. Masculine. The night everything changed, it was raining. Cold, relentless November rain. Emily had fallen asleep on the couch watching Netflix. Her phone buzzed on the coffee table. Once, twice. A name flashed on the screen. M. Just the letter. My heart started pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I stood there for a full minute, staring at that screen like it might explode. I didn't want to look. Looking would make it real. I looked anyway. I know people say, don't invade privacy. I get it, but when your marriage feels like it's rotting from the inside, curiosity becomes survival. The phone unlocked easily. Same passcode she'd had for years. Our anniversary. The messages weren't graphic at first glance. They were worse. I miss you already. Today was hard without you. Same time next week? My hands were shaking so badly I had to sit down. I scrolled. There were months of messages. Photos. Inside jokes. References to last night, and the hotel, and when we don't have to sneak anymore. Then I found the calendar invite. A recurring event, every other Thursday afternoon, titled Strategy Sync. My vision blurred. I remember thinking, very clearly, this is what it feels like to die without dying. I went to the bathroom and threw up quietly so I wouldn't wake her. I didn't confront her, not that night, not the next day. Instead, I started documenting everything. Update posted 3 weeks later. First, thank you to everyone who messaged me after my original post. I read every comment, even the ones that hurt. Especially the ones that hurt. I took your advice. Don't confront, don't tip your hand, gather evidence. I bought a burner phone. I backed up our financial records. I screenshotted everything. I checked our joint credit cards, our savings, our 401k loans. That's when I realized this wasn't just an affair. Emily had been moving money. Not huge amounts at once, but consistent. Transfers to an account I didn't recognize. Cash withdrawals timed with those strategy sinks. Over $40,000 over 18 months. I ran the account number through what limited tools I had access to. It belonged to a man named Mark Reynolds. Here's where things get complicated. Mark Reynolds wasn't a stranger. He was Emily's boss, and he was married. I found his wife on Facebook. Her name was Sarah, mid-40s, 2 teenagers, PTA president, yoga mom vibes, smiling family photos that now made my stomach turn. I debated for days whether to reach out. What if I was wrong? What if I destroyed another family based on suspicion? But then I found the emails. Work emails forwarded to personal accounts. Attachments labeled innocuously but containing hotel confirmations. Expense reports manipulated to cover personal trips. There was no ambiguity left. I messaged Sarah from the burner phone. I kept it simple. Hi, I'm sorry to bother you. I believe our spouses are having an affair. I have evidence. If you want to talk, I understand. If not, I'm sorry for the pain this message might cause. She replied 2 hours later. Can you prove it? We met at a coffee shop halfway between our neighborhoods. Neutral ground. A Starbucks off the highway, full of people who weren't us. She was smaller than I expected. Tired. Dark circles under her eyes. Hands wrapped tightly around a paper cup like it was the only thing keeping her upright. We didn't hug. We just sat there, 2 strangers connected by betrayal. I showed her the messages. The hotel receipts. The bank transfers. She didn't cry at first. She went very still, like something inside her shut down to protect itself. Then she laughed, a short, broken sound. I knew, she said. I just didn't know with who. She told me Mark had been distant for years. Secretive, always traveling, always working late. She'd found a receipt once and he'd gaslit her into apologizing for snooping. We compared notes. Together, the picture got darker. Mark had been using company funds. Emily had helped cover it up. They weren't just cheating, they were committing fraud. We decided to work together. Not out of revenge, not entirely, out of necessity. We hired separate lawyers but coordinated everything. Shared evidence, built timelines. Sarah's lawyer specialized in corporate misconduct. Mine focused on divorce and asset recovery. The strangest part was the bond that formed between us. Late-night texts, strategy calls. 2 people who would never have met otherwise suddenly aligned. We never crossed a line. Never even flirted. Our connection was forged in something colder than attraction. Truth. Update posted 2 months later. We chose Thanksgiving. Emily loves Thanksgiving. Loves hosting. Loves the image of it. The perfectly roasted turkey. The centerpiece she spent hours arranging. The family photos in front of the fireplace. Mark and Sarah were invited. Work friends, Emily said. Sarah agreed to come, her voice steady when she told me. I could hear the steel underneath. The house smelled like sage and butter. Outside, the air was sharp and cold. Leaves crunching under boots. Inside, everything was warm and bright and fake. We waited until dessert. Everyone was sitting around the table. Wine glasses half empty. Kids excused to the living room. I stood up. My hands didn't shake. I remember noticing that, like my body had already burned through all the panic. I'm thankful, I said, for honesty. Emily looked confused. Mark looked annoyed. Sarah reached into her purse and placed a folder on the table. I'm thankful, she said calmly, for evidence. We didn't yell. We didn't accuse. We presented facts. Hotel receipts. Bank transfers. Emails. Expense reports. The room went silent except for the ticking of the kitchen clock. Emily's face drained of color. Mark tried to interrupt. Sarah shut him down with a look that could freeze fire. This isn't a discussion, she said. It's a disclosure. Emily tried to cry, tried to explain, tried to reach for me. I stepped back. The kids heard raised voices and came running. I told them to go upstairs. My voice cracked only once. That night ended with Mark being escorted out by his brother. Emily slept in the guest room. I slept on the couch with Scout pressed against my legs, his head on my knee like he knew something was wrong. Final update, posted 11 months later. The divorce was brutal but clean. Ohio is an equitable distribution state. The evidence mattered. Emily lost her job within weeks. Mark was fired and later charged with embezzlement. The company sold quietly but not kindly. The house was sold. I kept the kids. Primary custody. Emily gets weekends. She lives in a one-bedroom apartment now. I don't hate her. I don't love her. She's someone I used to know. Sarah divorced Mark, took the house, took his retirement. He moved out of state. 6 months later, I'm in a smaller place. Still suburban, still quiet. The kids are okay. Therapy helps. Some nights are still hard. Some mornings I wake up expecting the old life to be there. It isn't, but I'm still here, and that has to be enough. If you're reading this and you're in that place, that quiet, awful suspicion, trust yourself. The truth hurts, but living a lie hurts more.